Hey everyone, and welcome to the wonderful monthly group text Behind the Velvet Rope crossover episode where we discuss everything that we find interesting going on in Hollywood. Hi, David Yontef.
I mean, are you missing me? Are you feeling me 3,000 miles away, Melissa?
I do miss your handsome face in my house.
Well, very soon, but you know what? Well, I'm doing well. How are you doing? Let's start with that.
I'm good, thank you, and I very much like the fact that you match your tree.
This was not planned, believe it or not. You know, this is just me being casual in the Hamptons and not being outside today.
Me being casual in the Hamptons. Okay. And on that note, let's discuss somewhere we are both not, and that is Paris.
Yeah, we're not in Paris. See, this is why I didn't come see you this month. I figured if we're not in Paris, does it really matter?
I was like, so I just went to the Hamptons instead. But everybody is in Paris. The Olympics are blowing up. It's been so fun to watch so far. NBC, their coverage has been amazing. And I'm usually so critical of how things are produced and looked. They are killing it. I mean, seriously, could there be any more celebrities?
There are so, I mean, I'm like, if you aren't into sports, you still have to be hanging on everything that we are watching. There are so many celebrities, and they're looking good.
Oh, well, first of all, don't we all love being in Paris in July and August? Now, okay, here, before we get into who's there, do you think because it is Paris, we are seeing so many celebrities?
Yes, I really do. I mean, I think, right, like, let's have an excuse to go to Paris, and why not? It's also the Olympics, and we can get in and be taken care of, and I really think because it's Paris in July and August, that is probably why. Don't you?
Absolutely. And you've got the whole fashion element going on, too. I mean, we saw Anna Wintour in the stands for gymnastics. Of course, she had the glasses on. But I think there's a lot of fashion parties going on as well. Who have we seen? We've seen Ariana Grande, Cynthia Erivo. I saw Nicole Kidman today. We said Sarah Jessica Parker.
John Legend.
Chrissy Teigen. Peyton Manning. I feel like and the one that everyone is going bananas for is Tom Cruise. He is cruising around in the, no pun intended, in the stands, hugging people. He's got fans putting their arms around him, taking selfies. He literally looks like he is having the best time being a fan.
Everybody seems to be like, Tom Cruise isn't really accessible like in the States. Like, why everyone seems like they're in such a great mood. Yeah, like he is taking selfies. I mean, if we saw Anna Wintour taking selfies and taking the glasses off, then I would be shocked. But everybody seems to be really just relaxed, right?
It's great. And Lady Gaga performed in the opening ceremonies.
Yes.
Which was amazing. And then apparently there was audio caught of her introducing the boyfriend as her fiancé. So that's gotten out. But the moment nobody will forget from the opening ceremonies, Celine Dion singing on the Eiffel Tower, head to toe in Dior.
I mean, if you're going to make your comeback or break your silence, so to speak, after a moment out, this is the place to do it, right? Very emotional performance. It was great.
And I mean, come on. Who else is going to do that but Celine Dion? You know, nothing like a subtle return.
This is it's a good choice. I don't know like what they had to do to get her there. I don't know if it was like a definite yes, but I mean, more power to her. I loved it.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying, why her? It's in Paris. She's French-Canadian.
That makes a lot of sense.
But there's been so much celebrity involvement long before the games even started. These celebrities are sort of taking these teams under their wings. And out of the blue, Flava Flav has adopted the women's water polo team. And it's a great story. You know, he saw a post by one of them saying it's so hard and we're all working multiple jobs and this, that, and the other. And he responded to the post saying, I'll sponsor you. And then next thing you know, he's like, you know what? I'm going to sponsor the whole team. And he has gone everywhere with them. He got them all sorts of corporate sponsorship to help them. He has become like their ultimate hype man. And who would ever say Flav and women's water polo?
And it's like such a good, like, I think he did it for such the right reasons, right? Like he really related to this story. But I mean, now, you know, he's at the Olympics with Tom Cruise. Like he's all over. Like it's not bad for his career or for his PR either. They're probably loving this.
They are loving this. But what's so lovely, and I think we've seen that throughout these games so far, is there's this feeling of joyfulness. And the celebrities are just in there sitting next to normal fans. And you and I were talking about this earlier. Don't you think it's people are having so much fun and are so excited because it's so different than the last Summer Games, which was COVID?
Yeah.
Like there's stands, there's people back in the stands and jumping around and cheering. I mean, that kind of energy has to be infectious for the athletes.
And look at Snoop Dogg. I mean, Snoop Dogg is like, he is loving his life. He's working for NBC, right? Like officially.
Yeah. But let's talk about the fact that Snoop is now become a worldwide cultural icon. You cannot go anywhere in the world and people don't love Snoop. And he was at a bunch of the Olympic trials. I saw him at the track and field Olympic trials. He has gone through the fittings with all of them. He's got the full kit. I don't know if you saw online, they showed his village photo, like his official photo. He's all decked out in all the red, white, and blue.
Yeah.
And he got to be a torchbearer.
I mean, listen, it's a great job. I think he should just be back every year. Like, he's so good at it. Like you said, everyone loves Snoop. I'm loving it. I've always loved Snoop. But I mean, you know, then he went through that whole Martha Stewart phase, which was great. Like,
which he's still in.
Yeah.
But I just think what's been so fantastic is it's been joyous is the only word. When do you see Tom Cruise walking around in the stands of a sporting event, not up in a box, and there's this video of like people just pulling at him and putting their arms around? It's so sweet.
Maybe we should have been there.
Well, I don't know. I think it would have been a very, very good idea. The fashion. Let's discuss for 1 second.
Yes.
People are killing it. They showed Sarah Jessica Parker in the stands with a bunch of pearls, but like slightly off to one side. Then I'm watching the Today Show, and they're talking about like the big fashion trends. And next thing you know, they're showing that in studio as one of the trends. I mean, come on. SJP is bringing it to Paris.
She is bringing it. Of course, she's like right on trend. And Ariana Grande, I don't know if you've like been following her. She is just killing it also. Every outfit is different every time I see her. She just had on like these big like Jackie O sunglasses and just looking like you should at the Olympics in Paris. So she's my MVP as far as fashion so far.
I don't know, Cynthia Erivo. Those two sitting next to each other is a fashion moment. But there's so much more going on in the world of, well, our world.
Yeah.
Kyle and Mauricio. All sorts of drama. I mean, the new girlfriend with Mauricio, and you said they were seen kissing in public and the family's all upset.
They were in Greece, I believe. Like, he landed, he greeted her at the airport. Shocker, at the airport, he planted a huge kiss on her. I mean, like, we don't know where that's going to go. She's 33. She, I believe, is a model. I don't know.
Shocking.
I know.
Shocking.
Are you shocked that as someone who is in their 50s and very, you know, attractive and has a ton of money, living in LA, is dating a 33-year-old model?
Yes, because she's 33. If you told me 29, I'd be rolling my eyes.
Right. I actually said the exact same thing. And anytime it's in the 30s, I'm like, you know, Yeah. You're making an effort. I said the exact same thing. Mind you, Morgan Wade is 29 now, I believe. She was 28, I believe. She's just throwing that out there if you're keeping track.
Just food for thought.
Just food for thought. But he, is with this woman. And, the rumor was that, like, Kyle, just was staying out of it. But now the latest rumor, Kathy Hilton was stopped on a red carpet somewhere. And she, Kathy just says what's on her mind. She said, I had to basically talk Kyle off a ledge, and Kyle is really bothered by this. And now there's all these anonymous sources that say Kyle is not okay with it, and she does not think he should be parading this girl around. And basically, like, she is close to just, like, snapping and just telling everybody in the world what she really thinks of Mauricio. I don't really believe that. I mean, Kyle is such a master at this game. She's been in it forever. I can't see her just snapping and going off on Mauricio in the press.
No, but also, it's a little hypocritical because she and Morgan were everywhere and stoking the fire of are they or aren't they, should they or shouldn't they. So suddenly she's upset that, Morgan's sitting on her lap, or she's sitting on Morgan's lap at Watch What Happens Live, and Mauricio kissed his girlfriend in Greece.
I think it's hypocritical too. It's like we still don't know if anything ever happened with you and Morgan. We don't know if it seems like nothing is really happening, but Mauricio is at least dating this girl for the minute. So I agree. I'm like, you're not together. I mean, this seems to be what you wanted. I don't know what you expected.
Yeah. And whether Kyle and Morgan were together, they sure let everybody wonder and think.
Yes, they did. So I say Mauricio should have some fun. Is she moving to Beverly Hills anytime soon? I don't really know about that one. I don't think so. But wouldn't that be lovely if she did? Then we'd have a lot more to talk about.
But they have other issues right now. There is a tax lien against the two of them. Now, I just want to qualify this, though, by saying it's not a huge number. It does not appear that they were trying to screw over the government or not pay taxes. It looks like a rounding error, as we would say.
I saw that. I forgot how much it was for, but
for most people, it's a lot. But for them, it wasn't like, oh, they owe millions in back taxes. It was, in a lower number. That really could have been like, oh, we thought we could declare that. No, we can't declare that.
That's what I thought. That's kind of why I skipped over it. I was like, okay, well, I assume they're just going to pay this and this will be the last we hear about it. I doubt they're like trying to defraud people like some of the other housewives.
Yes, who shall remain nameless. But might be in jail. Could be.
And who knows who else is going to be following in those footsteps.
Do you feel like there seems to be, like that's like the new stop for the Real Housewives crew? Maybe there's a new thing like Housewives in jail or, girls trip back to prison.
I asked somebody somebody that was like in the white collar criminal business, and they had this whole theory. They were on my podcast once. I can't remember who it was. And their theory was like, well, people that go on reality TV are more, like they're out there, obviously have to go through an audition process. You're that type of risk taker. And therefore they thought, yeah, it makes sense that there's a correlation that you would take risks in your life for financial gain. And I was like, wow, that's such an interesting correlation, but I'm kind of here for it, and it kind of makes tons of sense.
And tons of celebrities have gotten caught.
Yeah.
And athletes have gotten caught. Also, but if you're in the public eye, and you're running your mouth and you're showing the world how rich you are, the government's going to be like, okay, you've just flagged yourself.
Yeah, Kyle and Mauricio just bought Portia, their daughter, a Porsche. Like, that was her gift, which, yes, they can afford this Porsche. But like you said, for most people that turn 16, they don't get a Porsche for their birthday. So I think that, right, you're showing all of this and you're on a show for 14 seasons. Like, it's bound to happen, right?
Yeah. But this sort of, I wonder if people are going to start to tire, and this is something you and I have never discussed, of this overly conspicuous show of wealth on all these shows. Now, I know a lot of it is fantasy, and that's what they're looking at, but do you feel like it's almost hitting a tipping point where, you know, between the Housewives and the Kardashians and, which we'll get to in a minute, Paris and Nicole potentially having a new show, do you think America is going to get a little bit tired of it? I mean, they haven't yet.
I mean, honestly, I personally feel the exact opposite. I feel a lot of the housewives in other cities are not Beverly Hills. And when you strip away, we are watching more normal, if that's the right word, like people where it is obtainable. And they're in nice homes, but a lot of people have a home like that. So personally, I think the fantasy should just be exaggerated, and like the Kardashians works and Beverly Hills works. But I think a lot of the other housewives, New York, but they could have got really wealthy people on New York, and they really didn't. Jenna has lots of money, but couldn't they have gotten a bunch of Jennas?
Yeah, because it's so easy. I just thought after Succession, where everybody was leaning into this quiet luxury, I thought we were going to see maybe a little more of that. But I guess not. Welcome to Beverly Hills.
Welcome to Beverly Hills, and I love it. It's my favorite franchise.
There you go. We might have to shed a tear on this next one.
Oh, no. What's going on?
Someone is in the Hamptons and not happy. Jennifer Lopez.
Yeah.
J-Lo.
I mean, first of all, yeah, you have paparazzi here in the Hamptons, but not really. It's very subtle. But the paparazzi have really descended upon the Hamptons. They are primarily following Jennifer Lopez. Not to put anyone down, but I went to dinner the other night, and like Jennifer Lopez was there at this restaurant, Christy Brinkley and Drew Barrymore, not together. This will be a 2-second story. And like when it came time to leave the restaurant, Drew Barrymore, and I love Drew Barrymore, puts on like the hoodie. She is like buried under 7 layers with glasses. And like Jennifer Lopez has been coming in and out of the restaurant back and forth on the phone. And it's just like, no offense, Drew, but like, there's nobody, like, it's fine. Like, Jennifer Lopez is going in and out. Like, what do you think? Like, this isn't...
Maybe she was cold, David.
In July, Melissa.
Maybe she had a chill. Let's give her the benefit of the doubt.
Okay, and I love Drew Barrymore. It was just one of these, like, what? I mean, it's all fine outside. But Jennifer Lopez is being followed, and she got very upset with the paparazzi the other day. And look, I mean, I don't know. I see it both ways, right? Like, what do you expect? But she was basically like, please just stop. I mean, they're not going to stop. So why is she rationalizing? But she doesn't seem to be wanting to leave anytime soon. She is living her best life here. Just had a huge birthday party. SJP was at that. I mean, hello, Jennifer, like you have a husband across the...
Which is the big question. Ben has been here.
Yeah.
There is a rumor circulating that he has bought a new home.
I saw that.
He was not seen in the Hamptons for her birthday. He was not on her girls' trip to Europe. The last time they were probably seen together was the graduation. Ben's daughter's high school graduation. They were both at.
Yeah.
And she is making a concerted effort not to be in Los Angeles.
And she's like, I mean, for someone that doesn't want to be seen by the paparazzi, she's going in and getting ice cream, going to the bookstore. Like, she's out and about across multiple towns here. So she is, I think, just having like a carefree, wonderful summer.
Well, I wouldn't say it's carefree.
Okay, it's not carefree.
You know, but everyone said since the beginning, it's going to be really hard for him because she is so public and it's a different kind of fame than what he has and what he's used to, which is not this, only when there's been crisis or big stories have they been camped out outside his house. Other than that, he goes about his business.
Yeah.
They're not stalking him. You were saying at this restaurant, they're 3-4 deep waiting.
Yeah, they're waiting 3 floors deep. what did he expect, though? Like, you didn't have this the first time? Like, remember that media shitstorm the first time of Bennifer? I mean, I don't know. I guess isn't it sad? I really think that they thought that love could overcome everything. Because I really do think they probably are each other's person.
And I think they're the love of each other's lives.
Yeah.
But they can't necessarily, I mean, how very Richard Burton, Elizabeth Taylor of them.
Yeah, like Jennifer Lopez will always be Jennifer Lopez, and you don't want to like dim your light, and you don't want to just stay in a mansion and not ever leave. And so I don't know. I think we should call this time of death. I think it's over.
I think so too. I'm not quite sure why they're dragging this out, because now would be the perfect time, PR-wise, because everything is about the Olympics. So you're going to have, drop it on a Friday. It's going to run its course over the weekend. And by the time the Olympics are over and everybody can focus on that again, it's going to be something else will have happened. But right now, they're taunting the press.
Yeah, like when Erica and Tom Girardi announced their divorce, it was 2020 November. It was like right either during or before or after the election. And I was like, this is so well thought out. I mean, it was still an explosion, but this obviously you planned this for like basically the day before or after the election. I agree with you. Like, just announce it right now while we're all on the Olympics. Really smart.
That's what I would do. But it's sad. I'm actually sad. But it feels like their realities got in the way of their life together.
Yeah, which is very sad, but doesn't that happen so often?
Well, yeah. I mean, again, go back to Taylor and Burton. It's just, it is, they are the golden couple. They've all, paraded around together on the red carpets and this and that, and did not make any secret that they were back together or that they were in it. They were incredibly public about it. And it's backfired again.
It's backfired. But see, this is why, well, two things. Either A, like Madonna has stopped, 65, has stopped trying, and she does just have boyfriends. Unlike where we started, Mauricio in the 30s, her boyfriends usually are in the 20s. Mm-hmm. And, I'm sure they get something out of it and they get a gym or whatever. And then when she's done, she moves on to the next one. And to me, that works. And this is also why your favorite person in the world, Taylor Swift, this is why Taylor and Travis work, because he loves it. He loves it. And he doesn't mind being second when he's in her world. And she doesn't mind being second when she's in his world.
And neither one is bothered by the attention.
Yeah, it's perfect. Right?
As my mother always said, if you don't want people to bother you, go stay behind the gates of your $20 million mansion that the people outside the gates paid for. Once you go out, you're public property. And people say, oh, that's so unfair. It's so unfair. Okay, then give back the mansion.
I agree with your mother on this one. I say that it's the same thing like with when reality TV stars are upset. It's just like, what do you expect? I think everything is fair game when you're on a show.
Except for your kids.
Right, except for kids.
Except for kids. We don't, kids don't need to be, because Cooper was the same age, was that earlier age where they had just started standing outside of preschools and kindergartens. Oh. That's wrong. That to me is wrong. But if you're not with your kids, you're kind of fair game.
You're kind of fair game, yeah. I like it.
Okay, let's move from games to New Jersey. You have all sorts of info on New Jersey.
I mean, it is just look, we are ending the season. We have one episode left, and then we have an alternate reunion. And look,
wait, an alternate reunion?
Yeah, they're not doing a reunion. Lots of theories as to why. They're watching the finale with half of the Melissa people over here, the Teresa people in the other room, and they're all going to comment on it in their own groups, which is kind of a waste. The fans are very upset. You know what Teresa's team is going to say. You know what Melissa's team is going to say, but Andy Cohen says that the finale is so final that we don't need a reunion. But the reality is they're worried about the reunion. Everyone has been bringing envelopes and secret this and private. It's gotten really dark.
Envelopes? What are these envelopes?
These are the receipts that you bring to the reunion. You do, like, if you and I were in a feud, I would have my people investigate you. I would find out all the things you've done in your life, Melissa. I would come to the reunion. I would say, I have an envelope. I would take it out. I would say, in 1998, this is what happened to Melissa at University of Pennsylvania. I might be mixing up those dates.
No,
and then you would say, oh my gosh, that's my deep, dark secret, or who cares? But yeah, that's kind of what's happening over there in New Jersey. And this has been happening for a while, so this is nothing new, but Bravo and the fans are over it. They're over it. So there is really going to be a change in New Jersey. We know this, and it could be a total reboot like New York style. None of that is shocking. You know, people were saying, well, Teresa's the one person that probably wouldn't go, although Andy has now come out and said that, I don't know, we may just see all new fresh faces. Now, people have run with this story in the media because you know how that works, and there are headlines that everyone is being fired and it's a total reboot. I read this a little differently. I do think that is possible, and I think Teresa really could go along with everyone else. She makes the most money, and they really are tired of it. They really, truly are. But Andy's saying this, he said, we may be going with all new fresh faces. So no one is really focusing on the word may. I mean, Andy Cohen has not announced the future of the Real Housewives of New Jersey by someone calling into his radio and him saying this. So people, I think, have taken this too far, and I don't think we know for sure that it's going to be a total reboot with all new faces, and that's what people are running with now.
And he knows that that's just going to get people to watch.
We have 2 episodes left. And yeah, I mean, I think people really were over this alternate reunion, and I think this brings them back. And I mean, it's only 2 more episodes at this point. And the ratings actually have been down this season also, as far as where New Jersey ratings should be. So I think it's there's some big changes coming in New Jersey.
What do you think is going to happen on the finale?
Well, it's a thing where they're all in one room, like a Last Supper, and it's just everyone, Melissa and Teresa, speak. I mean, it's yelling, but they speak for the first time all season. And it's just everyone ends up fractured. I mean, it's like there is just everyone, the group is, it's over. It's so sad, right? Because like, I think like Teresa, say in like 3 years, when you're sitting there with your next project or whatever, Melissa, it's never going to be this money that you were making. And so I think sometimes when you're in something, you can't wait to get out of it. And then when you look back, you're like, why couldn't we have just kept it together? Like, we had it so good. Like with any corporate job. I really think that's what's going to happen. And then in the future, they're going to be like, why couldn't we have just faked it or kept the show on track because the money was so good? That's what I think.
How soon before they have a podcast together?
Well, I mean, they both have separate podcasts, so who knows?
It's just a matter of time.
It's just a matter of time.
Let's stay on duos.
Yeah. What do you got
I
for me?
hadn't heard this. You heard this. That Paris and Nicole have or are going to do a new show together. Nobody knows what it is. It's gotten approved with no concept. It's what is happening?
I mean, isn't that really hard? Because I always say it's hard. Isn't that hard to get a show approved just like we have no treatment? I don't know what to tell you. It's just me.
Not when you're Paris and Nicole.
No, not at all. That's exactly what happened. Apparently, like I think a lot of people think it's like the Simple Life done over, but I don't really think that's what's going to happen. And they've never said that. It's just they have decided they want to do. I mean, Paris has said multiple times, she's like, you don't understand how many calls I get an hour to go onto reality TV, which I'm sure is true. And she's like, I turn everything down. Like, I'm not interested. She did that Paris cooking show on Netflix like 2 years ago or a year ago. But
when they did a Paris is getting married, that whole thing.
There is that. And that did just have a second season. It might have a third season. But her and Nicole are doing something. Nobody knows what it is. And I don't even know if they really know what it is. But I just thought, like, what power to just get something approved. And apparently there was also a bidding war over it. I don't know. I forgot if we know where it landed, but it's happening and sold, and it's going to be some show with Paris and Nicole. And I feel the same way as whoever bought it. Like, I don't care. Like, whatever you want to do, I will be watching this show. Counting down the days.
But now what's happening is they're taking pitches.
Right.
But just the idea of getting them back together. And, I mean, could their lives be any more different now than the simple life?
So
they both
different.
have kids. They're both married. They both have different life experiences. You know, it'll be very interesting.
And
how is Paris going to do this and keep DJing?
I think Paris will find a way. How does Kim Kardashian run the Skims empire and travel all over the world and just go to law school? Kim does it all, Melissa. She does it all.
By the way, did you see Skims was one of like the sponsors of the U.S. Olympic team? Like they all got a bathrobe and all the athletes were holding up the bathing suits. They got these little teeny bikinis. It's hilarious because like the bigger girls were like, how do I get into this?
I did not see that, but I love that.
Yes,
I'm so
but
here
I love
for that.
Skims got in there.
Kim,
And during the Olympics, they have found a way to get a Kardashian product in it.
Kim doesn't play around, Melissa. Kim does not play.
Kim does not play, and neither does Chris.
No. So brilliant. I love it.
Let's stay with the Kardashians.
Yes.
All the pictures that have been coming out of Northwest with her stepmom, Bianca Cesori. Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I say it.
Who is Kanye's wife, who is famous for basically being naked in public. They all went to the movies together, and there were pictures of Bianca actually hugging North.
And I think North is close to her. I think North likes her. I think she gets along with Bianca and, you know, like being the oldest child. I don't know about the other children, but I think she really, because I've seen pictures in the past where they were together. I think they might have a bond, which is nice.
Or at least a friendship.
I'm sure Bianca loves the photo op. I'm sure it doesn't hurt her, not to be cynical and jaded.
But I mean, she literally shows up. Like there was one outfit she wore to lunch. I think it was at Chateau Marmont. And I'm like, how can you sit on a chair in a public restaurant with that little on the bottom half of your body? I mean, you're talking to someone here who will not travel in shorts.
Really?
I always have a long sleeve sweater with me when I get on a plane. Like, I don't want any part of my body touching the seat.
Well, I mean, I bundle up in an airplane because I'm freezing, so I will
that
wear.
Too.
But you just don't want to touch any of that.
No, and to go to a public place with your, not just your butt hanging out, but basically your vagina hanging out, and sit on a chair in a restaurant. Okay, I'm sorry. You've lost me completely.
Do you get freaked out in hotels by like the decorative pillows that they clearly don't clean? I mean, those in the bedspread, if they have one.
I don't like it, but okay, now we're gonna get into like my weirdness.
I mean,
I
curious.
sleep at home with a weighted blanket.
Okay.
And I love my weighted blanket. And now what's happened is I can't sleep if I don't have some weight on me. So what I now do is I might pull up the gross bedspread, but I don't let it near my face. I take the sheet and fold it over the top, or I also have a travel blanket that I then like can wrap around me, so no actual part of my respiratory system is anywhere near the bedspread.
Okay, I mean, look, Lisa Rinna goes into a hotel room and she scrubs it down. She brings like rubbing alcohol and will scrub everything down, the phone, the desk, everything. That's like every time she gets into a hotel room. So
it's the remote, they say, that is disgusting.
Really?
They say the remote is worse than anything.
For all of my OCD qualities, that is not, I'm just like, I know some things are gross and I'm like, I'm too exhausted to care. And I just will touch the whatever remote.
You don't have the mini spray bottle of Lysol? I Lysol the remote. I Lysol, the bathroom. I like anything okay. I'm a little bit weird, but.
Well, you and Lisa Rinna, you're not alone. That's what she does too. So there you go.
Good. Now we can be travel buddies. David, it is always so much fun with you.
It's always a pleasure. I'm headed back to LA, so I will be in person next month. And we've done it again, Melissa.
We have. Happy Olympics to you.
You too. Enjoy the rest of it.
I will.
Bye.